In the ancient lands of the Igbo people, where the earth is red like blood and the ancestors speak through the wind, there lived a man so good the village called him the heart of us all. But when darkness came for his own blood, the same heart turned to stone. This is the tale of Osaze and the bitter lesson of good repaid with evil. Hello, grab a popcorn and your handkerchief. This is going to be so emotional. In the heart of a lush Igbo village nestled among the rolling hills of eastern Nigeria, where the red earth whispered ancient secrets and the palm trees sway like guidance of old, lived a man named Osaze. At 50 years old, Osaze was the epitome of quiet strength, a farmer whose callous hands tilled the soil from dawn till dusk, yielding bountiful harvest of yam and cassava that fed not just his family, but often the entire community. His wife, Amaka, 40 and wise beyond her years, was his steadfast companion, a gentle spirit a balm to his tireless soul. Together they raised two beautiful daughters, Adaobi, 15 years old, with eyes as bright as the morning sun, and a laugh that echoed through the village like birdsong, and Adaeze, 12 years old, a delicate flower whose curiosity about the world knew no bound, and the apple of her father's eyes. Osaze was known far and wide for his boundless kindness. He was honest as the clear stream that ran through the village, cheerful even in the face of hardship, and a peacemaker who mended fences with words softer than the evening breeze. No neighbor went hungry while Osaze had food. No villager faced trouble without his aid. He lent seeds to struggling farmers, shared his tools with the blacksmith, and even counseled the village chief, Igwe Okonkwo, during times of dispute, helping to avert conflict that could have torn the community apart. Every soul in the village, from the elders gathered under the iroko tree to the children playing in the dusty path, had tasted the fruit of Osase's generosity. He built huts for widows, carried water for the infirm, and once, during a fierce drought, he gave away his last sack of grain to feed a family whose crops had withered. Osaze has always been like this. His parents taught him from childhood that kindness begot kindness, and he has rose to be a kind and a good man. Amaka often pulled him aside in the quiet of their thatched home, her voice laced with concern. "Unayin," she would say, using the endearing Igbo term for husband, "you must slow down. Your heart is too big for this world. Save some for us." But Osaze would smile, his eyes sprinkling with warmth, and reply, "Nne, I would rather go without than watch another starve. I believe God sees all and rewards the pure of heart." And so it continued for years, Osaze's light shining like a beacon, illuminating the light of others, while his own family lived modestly, content in their simple joys. Then came the shadow that darkened their world. Little Adaeze, the apple of Osaze's eyes, fell gravely ill. He started with a fever that burned like the midday sun, then coughs that cracked her small frame, leaving her weak and pale. The village healer, an old woman with herbs and incantations passed down through generations, shook her head gravely. "This is no ordinary sickness," she whispered. "It is the spirit of the river angered, or perhaps a deeper affliction of the blood." She needs the rare medicine from the white man's hospital in the city. Expensive treatment, injection, and care that cost more than a farmer's yearly harvest. Osaze's heart shattered like fragile clay. The cost was staggering. 50,000 naira for the journey and initial care alone, with more to follow. But surely, he thought, the village would rally. Had he not been their pillar for so long? With Amaka by his side, cradling Ade's feverish body, Osaze went from hut to hut, his voice trembling as he pleaded for help. "My brothers and sisters," he said to the chief first, bowing low, "you know my heart. I have shared all I have. Now, my child fades like the moon at dawn. Lend me what you can. Lend me whatever you have. I will repay tenfold." But Igwe Okonkwo, whose throne Osaze had helped secure through wise advice, turned cold. Osaze, you have given much, no doubt, but times are hard for all. Why should we empty our pockets for one child when our own suffered? Those words stung like a scorpion's tail, and often over time, repeatedly even when Osaze went back, the Igwe's response remains the same. The wars followed. The blacksmith, whose forge Osaze had rebuilt after a fire, laughed bitterly. Always the saint, eh? Now you come begging. Go till your feet, my brother. Till them harder. The widow he had housed spat at his feet. You think your good deeds buy loyalty? We owe you nothing, oh. Even the young farmers he had mentored whispered behind his back. He helped us. So? But that was his choice. Let him face his own trials. Everybody have their own burden to bear. Spite filled the air like smoke from a burning field. Jealousy, or perhaps of his unyielding goodness, or the human flaw that twists gratitude into resentment. No one offered a kobo, no one a kind word. They turned away, as if already waiting for Osaze to have a problem, leaving Osaze standing in the village square, the weight of betrayal crushing him. That night, under the flickering light of a kerosene lamp, Osaze and Amaka broke down. They wept as they had never wept before. Adaeze laid between them, her breath shallow, her once vibrant eyes dulled by pain. Tears streamed down Osaze's weathered face, carving rivers of sorrow. Oh, ne, he sobbed, clutching Amaka's hand. What have I done? All these years, I poured my soul into them, and now, nothing. They repaid good, it's evil. I regret it all. Every seed, every hand extended. Why did I not listen to you? Amaka, her own cheeks wet with grief, held him close, her voice breaking. We are alone now. Who will save our little one? Who? Disappointment everywhere. God, why have you forsaken us? Not even one person offered a kobo. Not even a kobo. Their cries echoed into the night, a heartbreaking lament that seems to shake the very stars as despair wrapped around them like a strud. Osaze felt his heart break. The man who had lifted so many now crumbled under the unbearable load. But in the depth of darkness, a flicker of light emerged from the unlikeliest place. The next morning, as Osaze sat listlessly by Adaeze's side, a stranger arrived at their door. A tall man, in tattered clothes, not fancy, his face scarred from travels unknown. Osaze could not recognize him at first. Then later, he was a Zenwa, a wanderer from a distant village, whom Osaze had once helped years ago during a market day far away. Osaze had shared his meal with the starving man and given him directions to safety, never expecting to see him again. Ezenwa had since prospered in the city, becoming a successful trader in fabrics and goods. Hearing whispers of Osaze's plight through traveling passengers, for news in Igbo land spread like wildfire, he had quickly journeyed back. I owe you my life, brother, Ezenwa said, his voice steady. You fed me when I was nothing. Now, let me repay. From his bag, he pulled not just the money for Adaeze's treatment, but enough to cover months of care, medicine, and even seeds for a new farm. Wow! He arranged transport to the hospital, staying by their side as doctors worked miracles. Adaeze fever broke. Her color returned, and soon she was laughing again. Her vitality restored like a river after the rains. With Ezenwa's guidance, Osaze's fortune soared, The trader connected him to city market, where his yam fetched premium prices. Investment flowed in, new lands, better tools, even a small school for the village children that Osaze built. But now with boundaries to his giving, the family rose tenfold. Adaobi pursued education in the city, becoming a teacher, while Adaeze grew strong, her illness a distant memory. Their home expanded into a compound of abundance, filled with joy and security Osaze had never imagined. It was as if God is now repaying him back for all the kindness he had ever shown all his life. The villagers watched in stunned silence as Osaze's star ascended, but their regret came swiftly and harshly. A great flood struck the village months later, washing away crops and homes. In their desperation, they turned to Osaze, begging for aid as he once had. But Osaze, wiser now, helped only sparingly, not out of spite, but to teach. I gave freely before, he said calmly, and you taught me a lesson. Now, learn yours. Goodness is not a debt to be collected, but a seed that grows where it will. Many lost everything, their pride shattered, forced to rebuild from scratch. Whispers of remorse filled the air. Oh, we repaid good with evil, and now evil repays us. The chief himself bowed in apology, but it was too late. Their action has sown a bitter harvest. And so, in the Igbo way, the tale of Osaze spread like folklore around evening fires, a poignant reminder: keep doing good, for it is the right path, but never expect repayment from those you have aided. Help may come from the shadows, from strangers or forgotten soul, proving that God's grace flowed in mysterious ways. You might render help to someone in the south, and eventually end up receiving it from someone in the north. Osaze's family thrived. Their tears of sorrow turned to those of gratitude, a testament that even in betrayal, goodness endures and multiplies.